Let's get it, man.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Unofficial Therapy Podcast. This is Chris K, and I got my boy Stevie Brown with me. Steve, what's up, bro?
What's happening with it, man?
Man, listen, dude, I'm feeling good. I'm happy to have you on. You know, I'm a big fan of your work. I've had you on my show a handful of times. I think you're dope. I think you're funny just being who you are, which I think is awesome. Most people are trying to put a thing on, especially when you're around comedians. They always want to like one up each other. They always want to give us the most. I just see you just be doing you Steve stuff. You just be living your life. And it always makes me laugh. Like, how you doing, Steve? Hey, man, how you living? I'm like, man, get out of here with that. It's like,
even I'm just responding to your question.
I hear you. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're one of those people that's naturally funny. And we were talking before we started recording. You were talking about how you approach dating, where you just say what you want, and then whatever happens, happens. So give people a little bit of a typical Steve approach. It's like you see a pretty young lady at the bar, you out with the homies, and you just walk up to her.
Well, the thing is, I don't tell a woman what I want. I tell her what I feel. Okay. Because in order for me to come to her, I have to feel something. So the conversation was like, if I walk up to a woman, I like the way she look, I tell her I like the way she look. I tell her what I like about her. I like her with her outfit, eyebrows, forehead, hair. It don't matter.
You sound like your forehead before?
Hey, bro, I seen somebody with a real shiny forehead and it caught my eye. And I was like, yo, I asked her what skin product she used. Because I'm like, yo, that sun is really hitting your forehead at such a like angle and it's capturing me right now. But I love it because she had like this little golden skin. Her forehead was just so perfect.
Did she blush when you said like your forehead?
I don't know. She was gold skin.
Oh, she's like Aladdin's lamp. Like she was like
something like that. Yeah. Like it was literally, that was her forehead. It was real smooth. She had like the smoothest forehead I ever seen in my life. It was like somebody took her hair and just pulled it back, and it was like the skin was just like.
So when you say I like your forehead, and she's like, "Oh my God, thanks." What's next? Where do you go from there?
Right. Honestly, when I gave her that compliment, she just laughed. And she was like, I never heard that before. And I was like, I'm glad I can break your virginity. That's how I responded.
How old are you? Break your virginity? That's not how you say that.
Hey, it don't matter. It got through to her. She was like, wow. She's like, that definitely was a first. And I said, well, take that with you.
And then you just walked off on some gangster just.
I didn't walk off. We was chilling.
Okay. So you opened up after that. So she was like, he already said my forehead looked good. He gonna say my ears look cute next. Like my toenails is popping.
You know what happens about getting at how you live? As soon as I said that, and she started laughing. Her friends started laughing. My friend was like, he's a comedian. And she's like, that
what slid in for the win? He's like, yeah, he's a funny dude. He's not as funny as me. Nice to meet you. I'm like, this dude don't slid in off of your jump shot. He don't went up in there.
Nah, he actually helped me because when he told them I was a comedian, and that's when she was like, I can definitely see that. And literally, like, they follow me on Instagram after that. It's like, I just be chilling, bro. Like, we talk to people on stage with a microphone.
That's true.
We talk to groups of 50 to 100 people at a time. What does one person should not scare you?
I'm with you on that 100%.
It's easy to talk to one person. It's hard to talk to somebody you actually love, though. I will say. Whoa.
How's it different for somebody you love?
Because you can't find a line that's good enough for this person. It's like when it's somebody the lines flow out. You say it and you don't really think about it. Yeah. When it's somebody you really love, you really be trying to formulate the perfect thing to say because who that person is to you. And they'd be like, I cannot find the right thing.
So are you trying to say that being yourself in that moment is not enough for the person you love?
This is what I'm saying. And this is where being yourself matters. Because if I had nothing to say, I told her I couldn't think of a perfect line to even tell you right now. And that line was the line.
That's a bar. That's like saying no hook, but you obviously have a hook. It's like this is a hook. You're saying there's no hook. Saying I can't think of a line that encapsulates this moment and how I feel about you is a bar. Because
it's the truth.
It also is the truth. Listen, a bar, there's no reason why a bar and the truth can't be the same thing. we always associate bars with being like, oh, he's running game. But sometimes the bars and the truth are the same thing. Like I told a girl one time, you have my full attention. And she was like, oh, like she actually did the, excuse me, but I was honest. Like, you know, and I don't know if this is how you get down, but sometimes you have a couple of different girls in your phone, you're texting like different times of the day, whatever. You're not even sleeping with all the girls. You just have girls you're talking to trying to figure out what it is. But this girl legitimately, like, I put everything else aside. She had my, like, it's like, you got my full attention. When you hit me up, I'm, hello, nice, like, I'm here. The rest of them are gone. So all I can say was you got my full attention. And it hit. And I was like, that wasn't even trying to make a bar, but I guess that was. And she told her friend, she's like, I heard about your full attention line. I'm like, why you telling my lines off? Like, that's not even, I'll be spraying that around the neighborhood. That's not for them.
Hey man, that's why it's cool to be organic, because it's like, it's not about what you do, it's how you do it. You know, like if you was to say you got my full attention, right? Sometimes you say it, or sometimes you just show them. You don't say nothing. You just show them. But it's still saying the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If they can't see it, that's their fault. Sometimes, and I realize the best way to move with women isn't always about your words. Okay. Especially at this age, like I'm 29, bro. Women want to see who you are, like, and they've been through the games, they've been through the lies. So women that's around our age are watching us. Oh, they want to see okay, who are you? Like they're watching you. Yeah. So it's like you have no choice but to be yourself.
It's like, so are you the shiny forehead dude, or is there more to you than that line? You just like, you're right though. Like I think ultimately women always want to see it, because I talk to women all the time. I've had women on the pod. They naturally assume we run a game basically from the moment we meet them. Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Steve. Hey, I'm Chris. Whatever. They already thinking he want me, at least sexually, but maybe more than that. But like he wants something from me. He's not just walking up to me and saying, hey, nice to meet you, and then you turn around and walk away. Like you want something. So their guard is already a little bit up. But if your actions are valid and you're righteous in what you do, then at a certain point, it depends on how much damage there is. There's a lot of damage. You may have to work for a long time to prove your worth. But at least on the front end, if you go for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you're not doing nothing dicey. You say, I'm going to call you tonight. You call them that night. You go on a date. You pick them up or you pay or whatever, however you want to game it. And this, you on top of it, they notice like, hey, I thought he was running something. I thought he wasn't dependable, but he ain't messed up yet. And then they got to respect the work. And then you go from there.
Yeah, bro.
Respect the work.
You just got to be creative. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even spit game. I'm always working, bro. I'm always doing something to try to get some money. So when females see me, they always see, like, they be like, you always doing something. Like when girls like the fact that I'm always doing something. Mm-hmm. I don't have to say nothing. They always see me doing something. They always, when they call me, they be like, hey, what you doing? They see me. They hit me on FaceTime and they see me at my laptop. And they see what I'm doing. So they be like, bro, I like the fact you always doing something.
They see a dude doing it. This is LA, man. You know how it is. Like
that's why I say it's so easy to talk to pretty women in LA, especially if you have an opportunity. Like if you shooting sketches and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm not trying to get your number to talk to you. You look good on this camera. I know where we can both benefit, and I ain't got to touch you. All you got to do is read my words.
You say you look good on this camera. It sounds like the opening to like a horrible porn. It's like, yo, you look real good on this camera. But I know you're not going there with it. But it sounds like that. But then when you say, just say my words, and then when she see the scene calls for you to get slapped in the face by her, and you don't have to touch her or like be her man, she's like, okay, he legit just thinks I look good, or he thinks I'm funny, and he wants me to be on the sketch. And then that's like, that even builds more credibility. Because if
honestly, the woman I'm looking for, bro, I'm looking for a woman that's going to work with me. I'm not looking for no woman just to be courting around. I'm looking for a woman that's going to hold the light. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I need somebody that's about to look. I got a lot to do. If you want to work too, then if you want to help, or if a woman has something going for herself, I like that, bro. I like women that are creative, because it makes the dates better. Like I go on dates where it's like I make smoothies and we do like the funnest thing I've done was we read monologues. We was reading like monologues.
Nice. Ones that you wrote or like online?
Both. Like we okay. I was already working on some, and she was like, yo, that's dope. She was like, cause I have monologues too. So I was like, so what we did was I gave her the monologues I had, and she gave me the monologues she had, and we was monologuing for like a good like 2 time went by so quick, but we had so much fun with that. You understand what I'm saying? Opposed to a date that sound like an interrogation.
You know what I'm saying? Where you from? Where's your ex? You got kids? How much you make? Like,
first of all, it should be no reason why on the first date you asking me what my birth date is.
Oh, you're trying to get your sign? That's what that is?
I hate that.
It's a dumb question.
That's too much information. You know my first name, last name, and my date of birth. I don't what?
That's some government stuff, bro.
I don't like that.
She's trying to clone you, dude. I've had this debate with women for a long time because I'm not big on like astrology and all that. I don't think I'm not going to completely dismiss it. I just think it's been the thing that we've made trendy, and then now people have taken it and just done a whole bunch with it. So I'll meet women and they'll peep my personality for like 30 minutes to an hour or so. And they say, oh, you remind me of a whatever sign. There's only 12, right? So you got like an 8.5, 9% chance to get it right. I've never had a woman guess my sign the first time. The ones who study it, you're this rising and this falling sign and this time of day, the ones who their whole life, like they put in their bio, you know, I'm a Gemini, so you can't trust me, all that stuff.
I appreciate that honesty. I really appreciate that honesty.
I kind of appreciate it too. I'm like, but I'm saying, but they do all that, and then we start talking. They say, oh, you remind me of a Sag or whatever. And not one has guessed me right the first time. I was like, so if this is what you do, and you read people so beautifully based on these signs, how come nobody can get it right?
You know, it's crazy. It's funny you say that because people be hitting my sign right on the head, bro. They be like, I see exactly who you are. They don't even be missing me. They be because just how I am. They be like, yo, you remind me of something. I always remind them of an ex. You know what I'm saying? You remind me of somebody.
That Usher song.
Word. That's how I be. They be like, when? And then they lean in on me like, when is your birthday?
Oh.
And then I be like, look, I just tell them because, you know, I got good credit. I don't care. I just be like, look, I tell them my birthday, and they be like, oh,
yep,
that makes sense.
It's such a weird thing when like they guess it once. Like you get caught the first time. I never get caught the first time. I think one girl got it like on her second or third guess. But like when I tell them, then it's like, see, I knew. I'm like, but if you knew, then why didn't you say? You obviously didn't know. Why would you guess wrong intentionally? That's not smart. You're going to go on a game show and guess the wrong answer, but be like, I knew it was B this whole time. Why you said C? Why would you do such a thing? It doesn't make any sense.
Hey, man, sometimes it's just a good way to point out a good liar, you know?
Dude, see, that's the thing. Like, I'm not big on the sign thing. I'm big on reading people. Like, my background is in, like, when I was in school to be, like, a therapist. And so, which is how this whole podcast came together, in case you haven't listened to the previous episodes. So when I'm talking to women and talking to people, like I'm always, the reason why I have so much like subtext and so much like depth to some of the questions I ask is because I know what I'm trying to get to, but I'm also weeding out certain behaviors and thoughts and that kind of thing. So I'm actually pretty good at reading people. I don't care about your sign. I can tell when someone's got guards up. I can tell when someone is trying to like prove too much to me. I can tell when someone is really open and available based on what they say and what they do. People will tell you who they are. You just got to listen to it. We just try so hard to put people in the boxes we want to put them in that we choose not to see what they're trying to show us.
Well, I tell you, I don't read nobody. I just sit back and let time do his thing. Yo, real talk, like it be because people do nice stuff and some nice gestures have an endurance on it, and some nice gestures have like it's perishable. Like that joint be fading off, and it be like, oh, so now the makeup is wearing off on your good deeds. Now you tired of doing good stuff, huh? Now you fed up, right? Why are you fed up if it's just you? You know what I'm saying? The real you never gets tired. The real you never stops doing it. Consistency is what I judge. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if a person is consistent with me, then that's what I'm on. Like I don't need to read too much about it. Time gonna tell everything.
Shoot, like so you're a G for that. I think you're 100% right. First and foremost, let me say that my personality is I don't like the idea of wasting my time, and so I want to. The reason I'm reading is because I like. You ever get a book and just kind of like, let me just get to the back of it and then like go back. Like it's like a movie, a Tarantino movie where they give you the end first and they tell you how they got to the end. If I can kind of figure through where things are going, and I can kind of, because everybody's putting some level of a facade up initially. You don't come and tell everybody all your baggage at first. You want to show them some good parts of you. You can tell them some of them.
I do. I be laying it all out there when I first meet people.
See, you're
like, nigga, I be like, don't think, this is today's date. But next date, you might be paying. I don't care nobody. I'm gonna buy all this today. But if you want to go out next time, that wasn't my choice. But anytime that's what I tell people. I said, if I ask you to come out on the date,
that's what it is.
That means I got it.
The person who asks is kind of who pays.
Go somewhere. If you ask me to go somewhere, I'm not reaching my pocket for you because you asked me to come. Now I'm an assist. I'm the guest.
Right. I hear you. You be showing up on dates with no wallet. You're like, I didn't even bring no money. You got this, don't you?
I didn't ask to be here. I'm only here because you asked me to be here. Like
it's like Marshawn Lynch over here. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
No, listen, bro. I embody the fact that women love that equality thing now because I sit in it. I do not try. I'm chivalrous. That's what I'm saying. Boundaries is always good, bro. Boundaries are excellent because boundaries keep things interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like when a person see that they can't get everything from you right away, it makes them want to and they can't because it takes time for certain things to come out of a person. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't even know they shouldn't even sometimes people shouldn't even know who you are if they walk into it. I met females that's just so available and so open when I first meet them, like, give me the conversation. Tell me who you are. The next step is show me who you are. Yeah. Don't hide stuff about who you are during the conversation. And then
hide something though.
And then I know, but you know what I mean. The important stuff, like people be withholding information just because it's like, I think that's too much information for the first day. Yeah. If it's appropriate for what's being talked about.
I think the whole first date thing, they always say don't talk about politics, religion, and there's like a third topic. I don't remember what it is.
A white man said that.
Probably.
Because at the end of because white people always trying to put a structure on something. Everybody know. First of all, you can meet a girl for the first time, and y'all just off the conversation it's a segue and thing. Like you never know what you're gonna fall into in a conversation. The objective is, can the person hold the conversation about whatever topic it is? That's the key to conversation. It's not about you structuring where you go and having boundaries and limits. It's about being able to pick up any topic out the hat and y'all able to relate to it. Because that's how you get to know somebody.
Yeah, I think you're right. There was a book, I don't know, like 7 to 10 years ago, written by a woman talking about, it was written by a woman to guys to teach guys how to get women. Basically, like from a woman's perspective, this is how you get us. And one of the things
she wrote a book to guys on how to get her.
Yeah, or girls like her.
She's not all women, exactly.
Yeah.
She wrote a book, basically put her own stuff out there.
Basically, but let me get to the point. But she was saying basically, don't talk about those things on the first date because that can disqualify you from her. Like it could turn her off to talk about those divisive topics. And guys were reading the book because she's a pretty girl, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. But really, it's like, wait, I'm not trying to impress you on a date.
Suckers.
Yeah, was a lot of them. Come on, you come on. There's a lot of them out here in these streets. We know some personally. It's some on the gram. It's some on the book. We know who they are. But that mentality is like, I don't go on a date trying to impress a woman. But that's kind of how Hollywood is structured it on some level, where it's like we out here trying to like romance and Prince Charming the situation. But I treat a date like I do a job interview. If I'm being interviewed for a job, it's never just them interviewing me. I'm interviewing them too. So when they go through their whole questions, what's your, qualifications, your education, whatever, they think they're done. They try to put their papers. I'm like, I got some questions. I got to figure out if I want to work here. Let me talk about your last 3 years. Where do you see the company going? Why do you think that, like, I'm asking them questions, and it always gets me the job offer, because they say people never go to a job interview to ask questions. They just want to be the best candidate. But really, it's like, this is a two-way street. If I start working for the company, I'm giving my best self to what y'all are giving. I'm giving my best ideas, my time, which is the most important thing in the world. I'm giving my creativeness, I'm giving my Chris to your company. So I got to make sure that you're worthy of what I'm bringing to the table, not just am I worthy of what you want for your job. And that's what dating is on some level, where it's like, yeah, I may have asked you out because that's the norms or whatever. But once we start talking back and forth, I may realize halfway through the conversation, I'm not even vibing with this for real. And we're both feeling each other out. We're going back and forth with it, but it should feel like a tennis match. It's like, we just kind of boop. It shouldn't feel like I'm just serving over and over and over again, and you just receiving serves. That's not how a good date should go, I don't think.
You know what? That's funny you say that. I feel like things are way too programmed. And people don't know themselves to go about a situation correctly, because the objective of the first date and dates after that is trying to figure out, trying to feel. You're trying to feel. You're not trying. I'm not trying to hear you. I'm trying to feel you.
Right.
Without touching you. So it's like, the objective, you're not going to have me feel you through those questions. You're not going to have me feel you through that. Like, I want to be able, like, for you to be my girl, I got to look at you and hear you speak and be like, I want to change your life. I want to be that person that's helping changing whatever you got going on. Right. That's where I need to be mentally. It's like, I need to look at that person and be like, dang, yo, which, like, through her issues and her success.
Yeah.
That combination has to be so sweet that you want to get in that and be an asset to that.
Sure.
Because you know you can be.
Right.
And I think that's the little
sandwich,
fine line.
Yeah, you're trying to be
the
inner part of the. Yeah.
That's what we try to find, and that's a feeling. That's a feeling to look at a person and be like, I want to see the best for you.
Yeah.
Because I like what you're doing.
There is definitely, and it's been overused nowadays. People use it all the time. It's the vibes, right? People talk about the vibes all the time. But when the vibe is right, because you said you were doing a monologue date with a girl and time was just flying by. I think, to me, that's one of the biggest indicators that y'all are vibing. When you don't look at I put my phone face down and I don't even think about it. And if I don't keep I wonder if someone's calling or texting me, I know we're in a good moment. If she don't look at her phone, I know we're in a good place. If we laughing and our stories just keep building on top of each other, we just keep relating little personal anecdotal situations. We going. And then at some point it's like, dang, it's 11 o'clock. We started doing this at 8. Then we vibed. And that's like, you never have a date like that and don't have a second date. Why would you not want to see that person more? The awkward date is when, like, maybe it started okay, someone says something awkward, and then they kind of like pull back, and they try to, you try to pull them out of their pullback, and then y'all go back and forth. And it's like, well, he was kind of okay, but then it got weird. That's when second dates are weird and all that kind of stuff. If y'all are vibing, you want to be around the person.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the awkwardness comes in to a person that don't know themselves. Awkwardness is fun. If like, honestly, bro, like, I love witty people. I love people that got here. I love people that, even if the wrong thing is said, they know how to make it into the right thing.
That's a gift, though.
Because we are creative. Like, that's why I told you, like, that's why I said, like, my girl, she has to have a brain, bro. She has to
100%.
have a, like, not just, she has to be a creative, because that's who I am. So it's like, my co-partner, I feel that.
She's a creative
women, creative women hit me at such a different angle. And I love the angle the conversation hits me at, because they talk in a way that it's their code of language.
Right.
It's like they say love language, but then it's also a creative language that they don't mention. And that's like when somebody's able to say something to you and you have the answer for them right back. Because y'all are in the pocket of conversation. You ever had somebody say something to you? As soon as they say something to you, you are the perfect response just resonates in your soul. You able to say it back. Right. And it's like basically it's not like you know how people try to one up somebody, 100%. But it's not like a one up. It's like a conversation flow where this person is talking and they're resonating with you, and you guys are that's the conversation. Yeah. The conversation ain't the politic questions. It's about when something is said. Like, I know a female that, you know, I talk to on the phone. We not dating, but I talk to her on the phone just because of how quick she is, how sharp she is. Yeah. Her conversation keeps me on my toes every time.
That's sexy, bro. That's a gift.
Yo, bro, she don't miss.
She's like Steph Curry.
She hits the perfect
line. From 40 dollars. She just turn around on you. She's cold-blooded.
Yo, how do your timing and what to say is be right there.
She's love it. Shooting 90% from the line, bro. She's just like,
yo, yeah. She know when to be quiet. She know when to speak. Like her time is impeccable. I be like, what book do you be reading? And I love talking to her because she keep me on my toes every time, man. And that's what I be looking for. I look for the woman that if I don't have the words, she got the words.
She looks somebody that complements what you're trying to do.
No questions, no series of questions can find that.
Exactly. Because it's like, again, it's contrived. It feels arbitrary to ask which 8 questions let you know what kind of person I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like this, it doesn't work because that's not how people are programmed. It's like, because I'm a trainer, people always ask me, I just want to build this part of my body, but I want to neglect the rest of the parts of my body. It's like the body works as a system. Everything works together. So like you can ask 1 or 2 questions, tell me about your ex-girlfriend, or if you have any kids, tell me about your kids. And like, maybe that gives you some answers, but you don't know all the elements that went into that part. And so if you just take that and try to like extrapolate it to the whole and say, well, he said this, so he's all this, then that's bad science. And it's not a good representation of me.
So here it is. That's what brings us back to the ultimate beginning, like, of the conversation. The real beginning of the conversation is, how do I approach women? I just start the conversation and let it drive itself. I started in any way. Don't talk about politics. I'll sit at the table and be like, if you're a Republican, get up now, because it's not going to work. And if she's witty enough, she will have a response.
Yeah.
If she's who I'm looking for can respond to that, because I will be able to respond to that.
There's something really attractive. And again, this is not what Cosmo talks about. It's definitely not seen really in TV and in the media. But because we're both comics and we're both creatives, like the thing that we like, I don't know if this is for you, so I may as well speak it for myself. What gets me going is people who make me laugh. Like women who make me laugh is like, it's the most amazing, freeing thing. Because if you're around someone who doesn't have a sense of humor for real, then the pressure is always on you to make them laugh. And even though we're comics, we got like, bags of jokes. And sometimes you at the bottom of the bag and you start pulling out not jokes. And it's like, got a lot of good luck.
But we live life too. We don't always feel like telling a joke.
True. Sometimes I want to just sit back and let you go and let you get in your bag. And then I'm laughing at your stories like, yo, that's a great story. And then the comedian mind of me may want to like augment it a little bit, maybe add some hyperbolic elements to it to make the story better. Cause I'm thinking of it like a stand-up set. You telling me the story, but either way, it's a good story. I'm like, what would have been real funny is if when she said that had happened, because now you're thinking about how this would go in front of people. But regardless, that's a good thing. You said a woman keeping you on your toes. I think that's an undervalued, underrated part of it, where we're talking and you're making me stay sharp. That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
The art of listening is something that I've been growing to learn. And that's why I talk to her, because the way she speaks make me listen. And I realized the more I listen to her and the more I listen to any female, you don't have to talk. Because they have something to say too. but they might bring it a way that, you know, because we're too busy with a mindset on trying to impress low key because we want something from this person, so we want to show our best selves. But sometimes the most impressive gesture is just to listen to who she is, because you might not have to try as hard as you might think you have to try, because
you shouldn't have to ever.
Yeah, females want to tell you who they are and what they want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They want you. That's why arguments happen. Like, you never listen to me, because the dude too busy trying to impress that they never take the time to hear the answers that she been providing you the whole time.
Listen, you can't listen and talk at the same time. It's that simple. And I don't know a woman that I've ever met that doesn't want to be heard out. They want, like, listen to what I have to say. And you can, when guys ask what's the love languages and what gift should I get her if you getting a gift or whatever, all that stuff comes out and you just listen. They tell you everything. You just listen.
The best time to listen is when she start dreaming out loud. When she start telling you what she want out of life. That's the time where you just be like, don't say me too. Don't say none of that.
Like, I love horses. Oh my God, me too. This ain't your moment, bro. This ain't for you.
Don't me too her.
This ain't your moment, dog.
Don't me to her. Let her live her dream out loud. And you just take the information because you hold it. This is about timing, bro. When females do that, and if you have it in your heart to care about her, hold those things and let time do its thing. And at the right time, remember that conversation. Because she might not know if you were listening or not. But when you get her the gift goes back to show her that I was paying attention. That's the action.
The power of paying attention is such a powerful thing. I was telling a story to a friend of mine recently. And it was about, I went on like this little date with a girl one time. And we were just there, and she ordered a water with no ice. And then like a panini or something. I got what I got. And then like 6 or 7 months later, we went out again. And I was doing an order, and I was like, all right, give me like the ice with 2 lemons, because that's my bag. I'm a 2 lemon guy, whatever. I was like, let me get the 2-piece on the lemon. She'll have a water with no ice, and we'll get, edamame for the table. And she was like, how'd you know I want water with no ice? I was like, because like 6 months ago we went out, remember? At the spot, and you ordered the water with no ice, and she was just like, bro, you would have thought I wrote like some Maxwell like love song to her. It wasn't even, I just remembered it, and I don't know why I remembered it. I mean, I know why, because she was important to me. I know why, but I'm saying in the moment, I was like, oh, water, no ice. And it was just like, I just filed it.
And that's the secret to remembering and paying attention. A dude that cares will pay attention. Somebody who don't give a darn, they not gonna pay attention. That is little things like that. And like even up to that situation, to let her know that you value her opinion, even like you stepped up, that's a good deal. But even if you didn't step up, if you ordered your drink and if you went to go order hers and asked her with or without ice, you know what I'm saying? It still gives her the opportunity to choose, because it could have been a toothache she had that one day, but today she might want ice. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you was to be conscious and be like, give her the option while you order. You know what I'm saying? It's small gestures, bro. Small gestures, because some women, like, you almost want to do things so you really want to have that thoughtfulness inside of your heart. Because what happens is, like, you don't want a woman to feel like I don't want my woman to feel like I own her, but I want my woman to know that I know or I acknowledge her decision making.
Yeah, you value her as a person, and the people you value as people, you value what they think, you value what they say, and you value their decisions.
When I was younger, I never let females make the decisions, bro. Like, when I always felt like I had to be in, like, I got it. You know what I'm saying? I was like that. It took me to learn from a woman, because I started talking to a woman and her decision making was just way better than mine. I was like,
Was that ego that made you?
You good.
Like before you got put through school by that woman, was it your ego that made you like want to control everything and be like what was it that made you that way? Looking back on it.
The construct society put on the man, that the man got to have it. The man has to be the one to know it all. The man has to be the one to put everything, you know? Right. And the woman's supposed to be the assist person. But they don't tell you how the woman's going to assist you. Because once again, it's a divine thing, bro. You have certain strengths and weaknesses. So she gonna have certain strengths and weaknesses. And you gotta know what those are between the both of you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You have to be like, okay, I know this is a weakness. And you gotta acknowledge it. You have to work on it, but you still have to acknowledge that she's better at it.
Yeah.
You can't be afraid to be like, she is better at this than me. But I'm gonna still work on it and get good at it for myself. Yeah. But she is better than this. Like she's better than me.
That sounds like some low level, like toxic masculinity. I don't even like saying that phrase because I think it's been like kind of co-opted and people just like abuse it for everything.
Throw that term out just to bash men.
They just be bashing dudes, but I think, listen, this is what I believe to be true. And you touched on it, so this is beautiful because it flows right into our conversation. I think most people don't know themselves, but I also think people have two selves. It's like the person they are and the person they aspire to be. And that's the person they aspire to be is what they want the world to see. That's why social media is what it is. That's why people are always posting filtered pictures. People are posting pictures with them like on a golf course or on a boat, when in real life it's not that glamorous, but I want people to think of me as this. I don't want them to see my mundane day-to-day operation. I don't want them to see my struggles. So I'll just post when I'm balling out. I'll just post when I do something well. And so that is always a struggle because when you meet someone and they come into your life, they need to know who you are and also where you're trying to get to, but we always want to like kind of push it to that side. And that leads us to not really being vulnerable with each other. And as a result, you can never get close to somebody's. So it's
funny you say that. Keep going.
Like, so I didn't grow up in the area and around people who were cool with vulnerability. I got like 3 brothers. My dad's is an immigrant, so like, he's from like the islands and all that stuff, and that wasn't instilled in him. And so I was a perfectionist dude like my whole life. Like I was a good student in school, I wanted to be the best athlete. I was like, if I'm not 100%, then like my self-worth is kind of thrown off a little bit. And it took probably like to my early 20s really to be cool with the fact that like it was always a girl involved. It was a girl I liked. I put it out there, and she gave it back to me. She was like, I said, "Here's my heart." And she's like, "No, thank you." And I was like, "Oh," and it hurt. And I had to learn a lesson from it. Because I was like, "Listen, I got to learn from this experience, or else I'm gonna be back in this place again." And it made me go deeper into myself, and it made my friendship stronger. But it made me have to put a mirror on the stuff that I didn't want to see, and it was. Listen, you don't like being rejected. That's why you don't take chances. And if you don't take chances, you can't exceed at anything because you're going to be here. Nothing amazing happens without taking chances. But that means taking a chance means you could fail. And there's a vulnerability in that. And if you're not willing to be vulnerable with a woman, then you can never have that wife and mother of your kids and that life you want to live because you haven't even let her really get to know the person you really are. And so like when I realized those two were connected, that was a crazy epiphany, and it made me a better dude, maybe a better friend, maybe a better, like, I guess, spouse or whatever it is. And that's really what got me on the road that I'm on now. But if you knew me at 21, 22, Chris, you would have hated me because I wasn't somebody worth knowing for real. Because I was just like putting a facade up for everybody. Everybody was like, "Oh man, you got it." I'm like, nah. I was just lying to myself.
The thing is, man, I wouldn't say that. Because the 21 you was appropriate for 21-year-old people. Like I was 21 years old, I was cool. But when I look at my 21-year-old self, I'm like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Because I see where I couldn't see me at 29 at 21.
Sure.
But at 29, I can still see me at 21. So it's like I didn't know where I would if I would have known I'd be in Hollywood doing comedy, bro, I probably would have quit college if I can see my 29-year-old self.
I can see that.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even the social media point, a lot of stuff is on social media for the people. People got to understand that. Like, it's two different worlds. Like, my happiness, a person would never be able to see. My happiness is something people be able to feel. That's why when you say you see me, man, it's always the same. I'm always that, hey, bro, I'm just doing my thing, because that's something social media social media can't feel that. But I can put something on social media that can inspire somebody when they see it. You know what I'm saying? Put a good image of me up there so people might see that and be like, yo, yes, I might, like, I want to do that too. You know what I'm saying? I want to look like my best self. Like, you know, like, that's for the people. What I put on social media is definitely for the people. It's not even for me to, that's why I don't put too many videos of me talking. That's why I don't put my vibe out there too much, because I'm too busy living life. When it's time for me to speak on the platform, the life I live should come out. But right now, it's like, I'll let you see these pics of me having, you know, a good time, or just posing.
I'm gonna stay posing. Like, you stay posing.
I might write a little tweet and send it to y'all just to provoke the minds of who's looking at it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how I feel in the moment. So it's like, because I have this thought, I'm gonna just put it out there so other people that might can relate to it. Like, literally, I look at social media as that. Like, I don't look at my social media and be like, that's my happiness. You know what I'm saying? Social media is about moments too. It's all about moments. And that's the great part about life. Like, if you live life and you create great moments for yourself, that's a great life. Your life is only as good as your last moment. So that's what social media is, the highlight of moments to inspire people to have great moments or to create great moments. Unfortunately, some people don't create the moment in real life. They just be like, hey, put the light on me, hold this phone, and keep taking it. Does it look like I'm having a good time? No, keep taking it. And
44 pictures later.
Exactly. But it don't take away that once they finally get that picture and post it, whoever see that picture would be like, they can live the moment, whatever they see the moment for, they can live it. Whether it was that moment or it wasn't that moment. You know what I'm saying? So
I think you're talking about the healthiest use of what social media is. And the people who listened before know I am notorious for not liking social media, and not because of my own thing. Like, you follow me, you know, I don't really put a lot of stuff out that's not like on brand with who I am. Is my pod, maybe me on stage, and somebody in my family. Even though, like, I work out, I don't have my shirts off. I don't really do anything provocative. That's not my vibe. But that's what you see, and that's what a lot of it is. And because you're healthy in the mind, that you can take social media, which is just a tool, it's just a platform, and you can use it to the best of its abilities. I think social media is like a business. Businesses in and of themselves are amoral. They don't care about anything other than making money. But we attribute businesses as being evil because money typically comes at the expense of people. So we say, oh, down with business. But business itself is just a business. It just wants to go. It's like a machine. Social media is just a platform, just like TikTok, just like Snapchat, whatever. It's just that people get on it. And I think people are so dissatisfied with their life generally that they use the platform to try to find happiness. But when you're happy, the platform works for you. And so they end up working for the platform. And then it becomes this weird, unholy alliance with social media where it's if you can see it, and I know you do it when you look at your time, you can see when people are probably fronting, and you can see when it's like they're doing this for attention seeking. They're doing this for validation, which is a big thing. They're doing this because they don't have outlet, people to talk to. There are people who, if they need to talk to someone, they don't have anybody to talk to, so they go to social media. And I think that's sad, but I think that's also the reality of some people's lives, where they don't cultivate relationships strong enough that they can actually go to them with things that are important to them. And they end up doing just a Facebook Live, getting all their thoughts out when they could have one or two friends who are like, I'm here for you. Let's talk this through. This is not for the world to see. Like, this is something we can handle behind the doors. But if you don't have that available to you, that you take it to the platform, and that's social media.
You know, the world give us tools, bro. They can't help how we think and who our minds are. Like you can approach it with a consumer mindset, or you can approach it with a producer mindset. It's like same thing with your life. Business is all over the place. A relationship is business. Social media is business. Your life is a business. Because business ain't about how you said it. It comes from a place of emotion, because you still put like the fact is that business has to have an expense from people. You know what I'm saying? You use that term and it make it can go either way, but the context can be like seen in so many different ways. When I look at business, I look at it as an equation. It's time, efficiency, and the service rendered.
Okay.
Time, efficiency, and the service rendered. Because the time is about how fast can it happen. The efficiency is how efficient can it happen. And the service rendered is it something that people will need? Is it a need? That's business. Because that equals money. Those three together always turns into money. If you can get it done at a good time, with great efficiency, and it's a service that people need. If it's a need, it will accumulate itself to money. Nobody has to suffer.
Right. But I would say when I said businesses are amoral, I guess you took business and made it a more broad term. I actually meant business like the stock market is a business. Technically, everything is a business, everything is a relationship. So people say, I hate relationships. Like you can say that as a term. A relationship is really with yourself is a relationship. With your friendships, like with your vices, there's a relationship there. So like you can take a small term and make it more broad. I haven't thought of a business in a way that you just broke it down. But I don't personally believe that business where morals and money have to like divide everything. I actually have a pod called Morals and Money from like a year and a half ago, where I was trying to like reconcile the two, because there's a holy, like if you were talking earlier about being right in the middle of where like your girl is, like you just want to be right like a sandwich. There's a spot in the middle of everything where the work is good and then the finances part of it is good, and there's a holy alliance. The issue is usually greed for people, where they want more or control. So like if you're creative and you're making good content and you're getting money back from it, and then maybe this entity that's paying you wants more control of your creative, then that is where the balance gets thrown off. Or if you as a creative think you're worthy of more money and you're fighting the powers to be on that side of it, then it gets out of whack. But there is a line where it's like you do good work, almost like a barter system. You do good work, this is what it's worth, and everybody's good. And I think that's the utopian type thing that people want. It's just most people aren't, again, they're not good enough in themselves, or the people who are on the money side of it, their agenda is personal gain, not community, like utilitarian type thing.
But even taking money out the situation, your life is a business. You try to find happiness, right? If you are living your life efficient, if you're using your time wisely, and if you build yourself into a person that people need, it's the magic 3, bro. I live by it. It don't matter what's going on in my life. As long as I'm keeping myself efficient and I'm using my time wisely and I've developed myself to be a need for people, I'm necessary.
Yeah. And that makes you, and I think that's why you are where you are. And I think that's also where, because happiness is also a broad term. I think happiness there's probably a word that's even better than happy that I'm just not thinking of at the moment. But maybe some level of contentment, maybe even a better word than both of those. But I think Shel Silverstein wrote something some time ago where he said basically, I'm a big work person. Like I think if your work is good, then the rest kind of goes from there. And what goes into making your work good is you being good in your mind, you working on your skill set, and you working in something that you have a gift in, right? Like if you're gifted at something, and you work to be better at it, and then you put it out to the world, I think that's where good work comes from. If you're not a good speaker, but you want to do public speaking, that's whatever. But if you're a natural, charismatic person and you work in the industry where people want to be near you and want to hear what you have to say, and you work on your knowledge base, you work on connections and networking and all that, then the work you get from that is going to be optimal because it's a gift that you're working at and it's a need for people, right? So, but he's basically said the work I do is good. That's why I put it out to the world. And I think it's so succinct, but it also drives, I think, how creatives work. I would never put a podcast out, or, I mean, comedy on stage is different. You may be working on a new set, so it can go sideways. But every pod we do, I think there's a value to it for somebody. If you listen to it, there's something you can catch from this. Some pods hit really hard, where people are like, yo, man, like that really, like that may have changed my life. And some are just like one or two people are like, yo, that was a nice little, I never thought of it that way. And if I feel when we're making these things that we put it out, that someone can get that from it, it's worth it. I don't know how many are going to listen to it. I don't know how many are going to download it. That's not really important. I feel good about the work we're doing. We put it out to the people. If I think it's going to make a good impact on people. And that's really what I'm looking for, is impact. I'm an impact person. I want people to take something, apply it to their life, and then everybody who's connected to that person gets the residuals of that impact. And then those people are impacted, and then they do the same thing, and it kind of spreads out into this beautiful.
It sounds like an impact pyramid scheme.
Don't you do that. It's a ripple, man.
Hey, y'all want to feel impactful? Sign up these 3 people and tell them to get impacted on.
You know what it is? It's compounding interest. If you want to use like a math term, like it's think of it like everyone who knows you on a close level is benefited by knowing you because of what you are and who you are. And at some point, they may not be where you are. Maybe they're working themselves up to where you are. They haven't quite got themselves figured out yet. They got baggage, whatever. They're just not where you are yet. But the more they're exposed to you, they're being constantly reinforced with a better version of what they are on some level. Maybe mentally or just control. Yeah.
I say this, man, the one thing that helped me out is knowing that it's not about me. So It's like, if I can be so good at life where I can make somebody else's life good just because I did, like, so like I do comedy and stuff just to talk to people and to make them laugh, cool. But that's just something I do. That's some low key. I make people laugh for me.
Yeah.
That's like my time to be like, yo, I want to hear y'all laugh. So I'm going to make y'all laugh. But the things I do that people don't see, you know what I'm saying? The opportunities I try to give people, and like the thing I try to connect certain people, because some people can get through doors and some people are at a level that I'm not. Yeah. And they need to, you know, somebody asked me the other day where it's like, yo, you want to act in this project? And I'm like, I'm good, but I know somebody that's better than me. Yeah. So I'm gonna tell them because they ready. I have to take a couple classes still. You know what I'm saying? I just like doing stand-up. I like writing, you know. Yeah. I like to write. I'm an intellectual. So it's like I don't always have to be seen to be effective. So I don't really be like I have to be seen. I put myself out there just so other people can see that I'm okay and I'm living right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm good in life. But I don't put that out there because I don't need to be effective from social media. That's why I only have like 3,000 followers. I don't have to bang that platform to be effective. No. You know, like I produce my own stuff out here, man. And whenever I call the people who I like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, come through and do some comedy. I got some plays from people in the thing. Y'all come through and do something if y'all ain't got no work. Come get some work if y'all ain't got no work. That's my thing.
That sounds like an impact pyramid scheme though on the low. While you like, hey man, I'm gonna put you on, and then you put somebody else on. Hey, you know someone else want to get on? I got him. I'm like, I'm with you though.
Come catch this impact. You feel me?
Yeah, 100%.
Catch this impact, man.
I'm with it 100%. I think, and we're gonna wrap soon. I think legacy is a big thing, especially for guys. That's why most men want to have a son, because they pass on their last name and like the legacy thing kind of keeps going. Or even naming someone after you and they get the junior and that kind of thing. So big legacy play. I think impact is the best legacy you can have because you don't know how far reaching it is. Like there's people, I'm sure when Nelson Mandela was in prison, he wasn't thinking about somebody in Louisville, Kentucky that will be impacted by his struggle and by his mindset and his forgiveness and his grace and all that. He was just like, he was so good at himself that he just did what he thought would be what it was. And now he's one of the most respected people of all time. If you did a poll of top 10 people, I can't imagine he won't be in the top 5, maybe all time of like respected people. But that's because of how he carried himself. He was good in himself. He had a good perspective. He was at peace with the world, and he didn't hold grudges and all that stuff. We don't know what our impact's going to be. I'm sure you've told jokes sometimes, and maybe you did a joke 1 or 2 times as a throwaway, and people come up to you a year later, yo, you told this one joke, son. I was laughing about that all the way home. You was like, damn, I don't even use that joke no more. But that joy of them drive, they may have driven home for 20 minutes laughing at that bit, and they may have had the worst day ever. And for that 20-minute drive home, they was like, man, Steve is hilarious, man. He gonna be somebody, and that made them happy. And we don't know how big that impact is. Some people just need to smile. People have a struggle, man, like relationships, kids, jobs. If you watch the news for more than 10 minutes, you're gonna be sad. And you go to a comedy club and people, for that moment, you're just not really a part of the world anymore. You're in your own little bubble. And like y'all laugh as a group and laugh reverberates off the wall. So you may catch somebody else's laugh. Somebody's laugh might be obnoxious. It may make you laugh at their laugh. And then a comedian like, damn, that's a wild laugh. And now we all part of it. And that's why it's such a beautiful art form, but that's impact because people then want to come see you. You said these girls followed you because you were funny. That's impact. You met them randomly, said your forehead is shiny, and she said, I got to follow this guy. And who knows where that's going to go. But that's not really important, though. It's just the fact that it hit somebody enough that they want to follow you. They want to buy, like, I don't know if you sell merchandise and stuff. People buy merchandise for people they like. And it just keeps, you never know how far reaching it's going to be. And I think that's...
I agree. That's why when you say legacy, legacy is definitely something that's that's why we work. That's why when we was talking before the podcast and we was like, bro, I'm not going to wait for somebody to give me an opportunity. And it's like, why would you wait for somebody to build your legacy, bro?
No, why would you do that?
Why would you wait for somebody else to build your legacy? Like, your legacy is the work that if you don't have a son and if you don't have a spouse, your legacy is the name, right? So it's like if you put out work, when you die, the work still lives on. That's why it's always good. You wouldn't know who Nelson Mandela was if the book ain't come out.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't know who Jesus was if the Bible wasn't written. It still takes literal work. You have to document yourself. That's what Black people don't do. That's why this is why when they say Black Lives Matter, and like when I tell this to Black people all the time, document your life, bro.
Yeah. Write
it somewhere. Because when you die, that's gonna be history. History is what was written in the time that it happened. That's the best history. If you allow people to write your history, that's why people publish newspapers. That's why people publish newspapers. That's why people, come out with these movies. Because they're stamping the history.
Yeah.
They're stamping the history. So for your own sake, if you want to be, you don't never know who will find your work. But if you don't do the work, well, nobody will ever find it.
You can't find something that don't exist.
Exactly.
That's why we're doing this pod, dude. Like, this is, like, you don't know this, but I'm telling you this now, so get ready. I have a YouTube channel it's happening now. And this video is going to be on it in a few hours. And it's going to be launched by the end of the week. I kind of made that up in my mind. It's probably like 85 to 90 videos deep, and it's all the pods that are on because I have them on Spotify and the podcast app or whatever. But if you don't listen to podcasts, then you won't get it. But if you listen to podcasts, you can get it. It's available. You can look it up, Unofficial Therapy Podcast, whatever. But my boy hit me up, who I play football with. He was like, yo, you got to put some of this stuff on YouTube, man. It didn't even cross my mind. I'm like, it's podcast platforms. We out. And he was just like, you got to put it on YouTube because what if people don't listen to podcasts? And I said, man, you know what? You're right. And I just started the channel. started uploading some videos, and now that's another stream of people who can catch it, who would never have caught it if it was on a podcast. And these now 90, 95 episodes or whatever, I don't know where it's going to be down the line. It could be like Patrice O'Neal, where when he was alive, people knew about him a little bit, but then when he died, he got way more famous because people went back and saw his work and said, yo, this guy's brilliant. But when he was alive, he missed that moment. He found life and death on some level. And I hope people appreciate us when we're not alive, but it may be 20 years down the line where someone's like, yo, man, you know about this dude, Steve Brown, man? Like, I like the way he approaches life. Yo, this dude, Chris Kane, man, like, I was going through his podcast and he got like 300 episodes, man. And like, we don't know where it's going to be. You put it out to the world and let the world figure it out from there. And hopefully it's something good.
That's why if I respect the man, I don't have no problem with answering the request to put something on his work. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's about. That's what this whole movement, this Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. Like, people need to understand, like, yeah, they see us do comedy, but they'll never understand, like, the type of people you have, the type of person you have to be to pursue something and to constantly be like, yo, I'm going to build a legacy for myself, not only to give information, like, you have to learn yourself to have the information in your body to be able to distribute it. This information that I put on this podcast today, I hope it finds somebody well.
It's going to find somebody, dude.
It's the truth, man. It's literally the truth because it's coming from somebody that lived it. I lived in 2020. You know what I'm saying? I lived this. So it's like I'm 29 years old, bro. We still young men. We might look at this when we like 60 and laugh and be like, hey.
It's like, man, I had a fro back then. What's going on over here?
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like, it's just like, you know, for us to have fun in this moment and be able to, you know, do what we love to do and be able to talk like this, you know, thank God for technology and where we are.
That's amazing.
You know what I'm saying? And it's probably going to be better as the time grows. This is like an era of like a birth of it, you know, because I still see the young guys that's 12 years old behind me. 12-year-olds now got YouTubes with a lot of subscribers. And
they're crushing.
They're out here. We got 16-year-old millionaires now. It's like, it's just certain things that, you know, the world is growing at such a rate, bro, that it's like, you know, 29 is the new old.
Yeah, we say 29. 29 is like, man, you got gray hairs already. Like, dude, I'm still young. It's like not no more.
But the thing is, technology sped the world up so much.
Yeah.
That it's like, you know, you got 13-year-olds that know what's going on.
Yeah. There's 13-year-olds marching out there. And they know the issues. They researched it. They know what's going down. They know how to loot properly. They know how to protest properly. They know it all. They know the spots. They know how to hide from cameras. They know everything. These kids now, like I have a niece that's like 4 years old, and she's my little. I know I'm a spoiler, but whatever. She deserves it. But I'm always thinking about where she's going to be when she's a teenager. That always crosses my mind. Like, that's 9 years from now, where the world's going to be, and it's a sobering thought because I know where it is now. Like, my sister is chilling. Her life is good right now. But 9 years from now, who knows? Like, are we gonna have flying cars by then? Are we gonna, you know, all be on these vaccine type things where we can be tracked by the government? Are kids at 6 years old gonna have their own virtual TV show? Like, I don't know how things are gonna go. Technology is moving at a speed that's faster than we've ever recorded. So we don't know where things are gonna go. And so I want her to be a normal 13-year-old, but normal at 13, 9 years from now, we don't know what that looks like.
You know, it's crazy. This is why I told myself this, and I tell the people younger than me. I tell the people that's why it's important to always study principle. Principle never changes. It's timeless.
Right.
You can have all the gadgets in the world, but your principle, if it's not solid, if you're not building on the solid principle, it's never gonna work.
Of course. You gotta be rooted in something. You gotta be rooted in something, man. And
you gotta know the raw form of stuff. You always gotta know the foundation of it. You always gotta know the equation. You always gotta know the math. The equation don't change, just the numbers.
I'm gonna leave it there. Like, I'm always listening for like when the pod can end, and it's like, okay, It's like when you draw like, listen, if you're not rooted in truth, then you ain't rooted in nothing. You just like let the mic go. It's like, all right, he just dropped the mic on that one. Guys, thank you for tuning in once again to Unofficial Therapy Podcast. Steve, man, thank you for coming through, dropping bars. Where can people find you on social media, man?
Hey, man, S3ROWN. It's like S Brown. The 3 is the B because my name's so common. But Stevie Brown on Instagram. Follow it, and everything else hubs outside of that. I got my little YouTube page and all of that. I got the link in my bio. Just click it, and, just follow the journey straight up.
Follow the journey. Listen, Steve is one of my favorite people. I think he's one of the funniest dudes in the game. Also one of the dopest guys. That's why we wanted to have him on the pod. And thank God for Zoom for allowing this to be as efficient as it is, because this is awesome. And we get to put a video to the audio, because the audio itself was going to hit hard. The video hits a little harder. So thank you guys for tuning in to the Unofficial Therapy Podcast. We're on all the apps, Spotify, podcast app, the YouTube channel. By the time this is posted, will then be announced, I guess. And it's just Unofficial Therapy Podcast on YouTube. So
yeah, and I know my shirt at the top says center, but there's more to it, just in case y'all see the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? This is a brand. This is a black-owned brand of my boy. I was supporting him, but I looked on the camera and I was like, it cuts off everything but the center. And I'm like, ooh.
Well, listen, I'm glad you cleared that up. I was like, I don't know if that's the right message to you. You're saying a lot of good stuff right now, but it's like, but I be out here in these streets. I'm like, come on now, we got to do this. Come on now, let's take care of the people out there. But thank you for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Bye.